3 years ago, I called myself retired. As of today, I just had a 115K 60-day launch. And the secret? I stopped planning perfectly and started trusting imperfectly. This is the story of how meditation can become, just like it did mine, your biggest business strategy. Welcome to the Manifest and Chill podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Ftacek, where we dive in each week to chat about how high-achieving women can release the need to be perfect and find peace, drop the hustle without giving up their ambitions, and manifest the life they truly desire. I'm a certified manifestation and visualization coach with a rich and exhausting background as a serial entrepreneur and tech founder who is obsessed with teaching women how to manifest the life they desire and chill the fuck out in the process. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to the Manifest and Chill podcast. I'm Tracy, and we're diving deep into our week 2 of our Peace Over Perfection series for the month of October. Last week, we talked about the perfectionist scaling trap, and the response has been incredible. So many of you messaged me saying, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Or, I've been stuck in planning mode for months. Thank you for this episode. It broke me through. And I freaking love when you guys send me DMs with feedback, because it means that what I am saying is resonating and truly making a difference in yourselves and your lives. And that really is my purpose at the end of the day. Today, I want to share something that might sound contradictory at first, because while we're talking about moving past perfectionism, I'm also going to share how meditation and visualization became the foundation of building a business that just in the last 60 days brought in $115,000 in sales. Here's the thing. There's a difference between perfectionist planning and strategic visioning. One will keep you stuck. The other, my friend, will propel you forward. So let me tell you a story about how I went from calling myself retired to a 6-figure business by trusting the vision and taking imperfect action. So let's go back. May 31st, 2022. I had just successfully exited my second company, and I was officially part of the 1% of female entrepreneurs who get to say they had successful exits. I was calling myself retired, thinking I was done with the entrepreneurial game. I was taking flying lessons, riding horses, traveling with my husband. I was having a really fucking good time. But here's what I couldn't ignore. As I was enjoying this new phase of my life, I was still watching my family and friends suffer at the hands of hustle culture and toxic self-improvement messaging. These brilliant women were burning themselves out, growing their businesses with outdated mindsets and strategies that were literally making them sick. I knew I had to do something, but I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a perfect strategy. I didn't have a clear idea of what this something would look like. What I had was a vision and a deep knowing that I needed to act on it. So I started where I was. I began sending out emails to my network, just positive mindset messages to support and inspire the women I cared about. Then I started a simple website. Then I began building an email list, which is 2 areas I coach on in my one-to-one memberships, which if you're interested, click the show notes and go into one mentorship on my website. Each step felt right, so I kept adding. I came across a mentor whose work resonated with me, so I joined her coaching container. Not because I had mapped out exactly how it would fit into some grand business plan, but because it aligned with my vision. And I have to tell you something funny. My very first meeting with her, she was like, tell me where you're at. How much has your money business made so far? Where are you at with your email list? Like all the questions that I even ask people. And I was like, I have an email list of maybe 20 and I haven't generated a dime. Yeah, it financially stretched me, but I knew it was the right thing to do. But here's what's crucial to understand. I was doing, not planning. And don't get me wrong, things move quickly in terms of basic structure because I'd scaled multiple businesses before. But I only had the big picture in mind, not the minute details. And when those details would come up, and they always do, I would lean into meditation, visualization, and intention setting in order to make those choices, which is completely contrary to a lot of strategists out there that are going to teach you how to build a business. This is the balance I teach the women who work with me now. This is the balance that I'm sharing with the women that are coming with me in November to Tulum. You need both the spiritual practice to stay connected to your vision and the strategic action to bring it to life. Because here's what I know about myself. I'm a visionary, and I'm comfortable saying that. If I don't pause to meditate on what I want, I get lost in what is the true purpose of my mission. But if I don't move forward with action, I can burn out simply from the idea of building something. Not from imposter syndrome, but because I see it all. I've done the mental build out, and I need to get it out of my head and into the world. By summer 2023, I was launching Manifest and Chill. And here's where it gets interesting. So much of my success came from saying yes to opportunities before I felt completely ready. I accepted a collaboration that came from a simple DM on Instagram. I said yes to speaking at a local networking group from another DM on Instagram. I attended a retreat from a DM I had received on Instagram. And believe it or not, I put into motion co-hosting my first retreat because someone responded to an Instagram poll. I posted asking if anyone would be interested in joining me. And she said, I want to host it with you. But the real proof of this approach, it all started with one program. A program I originally called 21 Days of Abundance. And it's now renamed the Scarcity Block Breakthrough. It's down in the show notes below if you want to take a peek at it. The first round, I barely got 20 people to say yes. And I gave it away for free because I was testing the concept, learning what worked, seeing how people responded. It was a beta group. Fast forward to today, that same program is now priced at $288. And 400 women have enrolled in the last 60 days. And here's my favorite part of this story. This past August, during the Lion Gate portal on 8/8, that was where I had the momentum to really scale. And at the same time, I was encouraging one of my one-to-one clients to promote her program. But she used the excuse so many entrepreneurs use when sales are flat. It's the end of summer. No one buys right now. Meanwhile, I had already had 200 women enrolled and was on my way to 400. Same timing, same market. The key, it's a different mindset. She was operating from limitation. I was operating from vision backed by strategic action. If I had waited to feel completely settled in the structural aspects of my business, I never would have moved forward. If I had waited for the perfect plan, those random emails would have eventually fizzled out because I would have had limited engagement and convinced myself no one was interested. But because I balanced meditation with movement, vision with action, I built something that generated $115,000 in just the last 60 days. So how do you create this balance? How do you use meditation and visualization to fuel strategic action instead of getting lost in spiritual bypassing or analysis paralysis? Let me give you 3 specific strategies. Because when you listen to my podcast, I always have actionable steps you can take right afterwards and implement literally day 1 in your life. Strategy 1, vision first meditation. Before you get caught up in the how, please get clear on the what and the why. I spend time in meditation connecting to the big picture, not the minute details, but the vision of what I'm creating and who I am serving. So here's your practice. Set aside 10 minutes each morning. Ask yourself, what wants to be created through me today? Not how will I create it, but what wants to emerge. Now, this is going to require you to trust what comes up, even if at the time it doesn't make sense. This is your intuitive guidance system telling you where to focus your energy. Strategy 2. We're implementing intuitive decision making. When those minute details come up, and they will, it's a business, it's what happens. Anytime you're making a plan for something, don't default to endless research or perfect planning. Don't chat GPT yourself out of understanding the big picture. Instead, use meditation and visualization to guide your choices. Here's how. When you're facing a decision, before you open the laptop to research how to do it, sit quietly and visualize each option. How does your body feel when you imagine saying yes? How does it feel when you imagine saying no? Your body holds wisdom your mind hasn't figured out yet. Trust it. Trust that. Strategy 3, the action vision loop. This is the secret. You do not meditate once and then act forever. We're not beholden to the first decision, the first thoughts. What you're going to do is you're going to create a loop. Vision, action. Vision, action. Vision, action. I meditate to connect to the vision, then I take action. As I act, I learn new things, which means I need to return to meditation to integrate what I've learned and refined in the vision. It's not meditation or strategy. It's meditation and strategy. Those two work together. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs, the most visionary entrepreneurs, spend the time on their vision, which then helps them to build the strategy. And here's what I want you to understand. The spiritual and the strategic, they're not opposites. They're partners. They're dance partners, if you will. Your meditation practice keeps you connected to your purpose and prevents you from building something that looks successful but feels empty. And a lot of you are sitting in that right now. You look really successful to the outside world. You look really successful on paper. Here's a secret. That's sometimes where the imposter syndrome comes in. When you're connected to your purpose, you will build something successful, that is substantial, that is strategic, and your strategic action takes that beautiful vision and makes it real in the world from no matter what angle you're looking at it. So what is your vision calling you to create? What action steps have you been avoiding because you're waiting for the perfect plan? We hear so often about living today as your future self. That's what the meditation and the vision work gives you. What if instead of waiting, you trusted the vision enough to take the next right step? Next week, we're diving into the 80% rule, how to launch before you feel ready, and why that's actually better for everyone involved. If this episode resonated with you, I want to hear about it. Send me a DM and tell me what vision you're ready to stop perfecting and start building. And speaking of trusting the vision and taking action, I'm hosting my final retreat in Tulum this November. I won't be hosting another retreat again until 2027. And the 4 spots for the women who are ready to master this balance of meditation and strategy, vision and action, well, we'll be spending 5 days working through my Manifest and Chill guided journal, which is the first place I'll ever be releasing it to, learning to trust your intuition while building strategic momentum in your business and life. This retreat is for you if you've been stuck in either spiritual bypassing or strategic overwhelm, and you're ready to find the sweet spot where both work together. Application link is in the show notes below, but here's the thing, don't wait until you feel completely ready. Don't wait until you have every detail figured out. If the vision of transformation calls to you, trust it enough to apply. Because sometimes the best decisions are made from vision, not perfect planning. And remember, my beautiful friends, your vision is valid. Your intuition is intelligent, and your action creates your reality. I'll see you next week for the 80% rule.